Hello and welcome to Trey's Top 25 Anime of All Time. Like with the Top 25 Games list, we have a series of different shows that will need to be ranked into a list of 25 of the best. Unlike last time, however, I have not yet cut it down to 25, as that is a process that many of you stated that you wish that you had been able to see. So instead, we have just a massive list of my favorite anime, and I will be putting a star beside those that are going to stay, and continuing to do that until we have it down to 25 shows, with the exception of Gar, which is already number one and is going to stay number one. And if you were only watching this list to find out what number one was, there you go. I've ruined our watch time. Gar is the best. Maybe not the best show ever made. I'll be the first to admit that, but I really, really love Gar. My favorite show of all time. I love the music, I love the characters, I love the action, I love the mechs, I love symmetrical docking, I love dividing drivers, I love Goldie on Hammer, I love King Jader, everything that it's just there's not a single thing about Gagagar I don't like, and the things that I love about Gagagar I love so much more than every other show I've ever seen. So it has to be number one for me. There are shows that are better shows, all told. They don't have some of the flaws that Gao does have, but my love for Gao is greater than anything else on this list. So we are going to start at the top here, and if I think it has a chance of being in the top 25, it will get a asterisk. If not, then we will cut it now. Probably got to do this a couple times to get the list down to size, but let's go ahead and get started. Turn A Gundam is staying. There's no way it's not on the top 25. Clannad is staying. I wrote these down as I thought of them, thinking of every anime I'd ever seen and the ones that I thought could stand for my favorite 25. And again, it bears to mention this is not the best 25 anime ever made. It's not an objective list. It's extremely subjective. This is my favorite anime ever made. And this will not have any shows that have not been completed. So shows like Gintama or One Piece, as much as I love them both, not be on this list, unfortunately. There are other lists that we'll do in the future that they have a chance to be on, including the top manga list, which will have an incomplete series on there for sure. But for now, they are not on this list. Kogias is on this list, I believe. I think Gunsword's probably on this list. I think Bebop is probably on this list. I think Gunbuster's probably on this list. I really like Tari Tari. And the character arcs and the music. I really, really like Tari Tari. I think we're gonna have it set where it might be cut. Sengoku Basara is on this list. JoJo is on this list. Armageddon's on this list. Steins Gate's on this list. Gurren Lagann's on this list. Brotherhood's on this list. I think Kill la Kill might be on the chopping block. Angel Beats. Angel Beats might be on the chopping block. Hunter x Hunter 2011 on the list. Trigun on the list. School Rumble on the list. Toradora. On the list? I'll put a maybe on there. Ice Shield 21, I'm gonna say it's on the list. Hajime no Ippo on the list. Kaicho wa Maid-sama. Again, these anime are from all across anime. There's no one specific genre that I enjoy. These are just my favorites. I think it might be on the chopping block. Legend of the Legendary Heroes. I want that on the list. Don't know that it's gonna hang on the list, but I want it on the list. Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere. Log Horizon. Bison Wolf. I think K, out of everything on the list, K is probably at the bottom for me. K has a ton of problems. Really like K, but I think it's gonna be on the chopping block here. Bakano has to stay. Full Metal Panic, I really want to stay. Outlaw Star has to stay. Baka and Test has to stay. Narari no Mago has to stay. Katana Godfrey has to stay. G Gundam has to stay. Da-da-da-da. Could go Okami-san and her 7 companions. It's on the list. It's on the list. Konosuba's on the list. Raka no Yusha's on the list. Kokoro Connect. Ginobon, it's on the list. Kekai Sensen's on the list. Gundam Double O. Season 2, though? Hallelujah, though. Graham Acre, though. On the list. Zeta Gundam. On the list. I forgot to put in IBO. I can't spell it. I'm tense. It's on the list. Tekken Man Blade. It's on the list. Gundam X. It could go. I forgot to put Build Fighters on here too. Build Fighters. It's on the list. Oh, though, now is where we have to specify if a series is up here, that includes the entirety of the series if it's finished. So that's why JoJo has to be on the list, but it's also why Naruto is not on this list. Because Naruto and Shippuden have a ton of filler, and as much as I love Naruto, it's not going to be on my list. That's why I didn't even write it in here. And so Build Fighters, it has Try as a direct sequel. I think Build Fighters could go. Amagami SS and SS Plus. I really want to keep that. Needless has to be on the list. Tears to Tiara. It's good. I really, really like Tears to Tiara. With Oron and everything there. But I think it could go. Go Danner has some really good music. It has Sawatari Go. But I think it can go as much as I really do like it. Rurouni Kenshin has Kenshin. It has Hajime Saito. It has Aoshi. It has the Oniwawan group. It also has Makoto Shishio. Shishio I really don't like as a villain that much. I think Kenshin can go. This one's gonna hurt. I think Dragon Ball Z can go, man. I love it. I love it so much. Z is so good. But hear me out. Hear me out here. The Boo Saga. If this was just Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga, like Namek Saga, Cell Saga, I'd be like, yeah, no, hands down. The Boo Saga, though. I think DBZ can go. SDF Macross. Macross is great, man. Do You Remember Love? The movie is amazing. This is about the series. I think Macross stays a little while. I think it does. I think it might go still, but I think it stays for a little while. Macross 7. Dynamite, dynamite, dynamite explosion once again. Guy King. Guy King the Great has a really good theme song. I think it can go though. Kotetsu Jig and Kotetsushin Jig by extension. I love Jig. I love Jig. I think it can go. Star Driver, man, I love Star Driver so much. Crazy good music, crazy good action. Those characters though. Characters leave a lot to be desired in places. We're keeping it for now. We're keeping it for now. The music's that good. It could still go. We're keeping it for now. Tiger and Bunny. To be on this list at all, again, is like a big thing for me. Because these are my favorite shows, right? I think Tiger and Bunny can go. Samurai Deeper Kyo. Minitora. Think it can. Kiba. That's a great show that nobody sees. Nobody's ever watched Kiba, right? That show's great, but it can go. Utabo no Rimono, a lot like Tears Tiara. I think it can go. I love it. I really do. I think it's really good. Hakuoro is a really cool character. The stuff that comes from there, where things go from there, I think it can go. Guyver's so good. Murakami, man. I think it can go. And Pumpkin Scissors, man. I think it can go. There's a lot of series that did not get put on this list because I think their manga is objectively better. So like Soul Eater, I think Soul Eater's manga is way better. I feel like there were more that I was thinking of when I made this list. That's all I got right now. So let's count our starred series. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We need 24. We're already at 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. Okay. So we might as well just start cutting anything that has a minus on it. I'm sorry, Tari. You're really good. Your music's amazing. Kill la Kill, I'm sorry. I really like you. I really do. Don't Lose Your Way. I Want to Know. Angel Beats. Ichiban no Takaramono. Toradora. Oh, man. Toradora has such a good soundtrack. It really does. Again, everything with a minus is basically an honorable mention. Kaicho wa Maid-sama. K. I can still hear the music in K in my head. Shizuo, man. Heiwajima Shizuo. Gundam X. New Type Dolphins. Build Fighter Season 1 is so perfect. It is so perfect. Build Fighter Season 2, not so much. Tears Tiara, man. I gotta rewatch that. I really need to. Oh, da-da. You know what really kills Godanner for me? It's two things. Two things that kill Godanner for me. It's the incestuous twins, which is bad enough, and it's the egregious amounts of fan service. If not for that, Godanner tackles some really cool like ideas that are not handled by a lot of Super Robot series. I can't. Kenshin's really good, man, but it just doesn't hang compared to everything else. Like, I love Kenshin, but the second half of Kenshin, like everything after the fight with Saito and the fight with Aoshi, with Shinomura Aoshi, and the Oniwaban group and everything after that is not as good, in my opinion, as the first half was. And then I already talked about why with Z. Guy King. It's good. It's good. But there are other shows on here I would rather keep. And that's where basically all of these are. You'll also notice there are not any Mazinger on here. Mazinger, like, Zero's so good, man. It's so good. But there's only so much space on this list. There's only so much space. Like, Vifam's not on here. Dunbine's not on here. Votomes, man. We gotta write in Votomes. This is the problem, right? Is I could make top 25 mecha, top 25 of all time. I know I'm the mecha guy, so having less on here is probably a huge shock for a lot of people. But okay. Alright. Let's begin. We gotta cut this down to 25. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 1, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and 43. We gotta somehow cut that down to 24. We have to cut almost 20 shows off this list. Start at the top again. We're going to leave an asterisk if it's for sure staying, We're gonna cut it if not. Turn A has to be here. It literally has to be here. It's my favorite Gundam. It has to be on. Clannad, I still think Clannad has to be here. I really do. I'm gonna make my case for all these when I go to rank them. Code Geass, I think has to be here. To be on this list, like to be on my top 25, means that you are an anime that I think about. You know, you're an anime that I want to rewatch often. You're an anime that I will just be doing something else and I will think about something that happened in that show and how good it is. And for me, like Code Geass, it's that ending at all times. Like anytime I think about Code Geass, I think about how good the ending is. We've talked before about how moments outweigh so much for me. With Gunsword, it's the cut from the end of episode 23, I think it is, to the person sitting in the rocking chair, and the ending theme song just laid on top of it. Like I think about that so often when I think about Gunsword. Rust in memories. It's so good, man. Bebop, like you're gonna carry that weight. It has to be on here. It at 100%. Gunbuster. I want to give Gunbuster another round. Just one more. I really like Gunbuster, like a lot. Sengoku Basara has to be on this list. It has to, man. Date Masamune has to. Jojo has got to be on here, especially because of the way that this list worked. It's all the seasons in one. Like part 1, maybe part 1 doesn't make it, right? Part 1's really good. I like it a lot. Part 2 probably makes it. Part 3 and 4 for sure make it, even if it's just on their own, right? They each make it. But as one whole, yes, no doubt. Armageddon might be able to go. I think I can let go of Armageddon. I think. But Stoner Sunshine, man. Ryoma locked in jail. I didn't put Dan Cougar on this. Dan Cougar would not have made it to the top 25. It's fine. It would definitely be in top 50. For sure, top 100. But I don't think it would have made it in the 25. It's fine. Don't add it now. Oh, man. Armageddon. Usashi. Okay, it's staying for now. It's staying for now. Could still go, but it's staying for now. Steins Gate has to stay on this list. Gurren Lagann has to stay on this list. Brotherhood has to stay on this list. Hunter x Hunter has to stay on this list. Trigun. I'm gonna sound like such a terrible fan if I cut Trigun right here. Legato Blue Summers. I don't want to go. I think Trigun's going though. I'm sorry, Trigun. I'm sorry. This hurts. Trust me. School Rumble has to be on this list. Hands down. Has to be. People are probably going, School Rumble? Why does School Rumble compare to like Trigun? It's like you'll see. Trust me. We'll get there. Ice Shield 21, man. Name on Devil Bats. Yeah. But the pacing in places is really rough. I think it's got to stay for a little bit longer. It could still go in the next pass. It's got to stay for now. Hajime no Ippo has to stay on this list. Ippo has to be on here. Hajime no Ippo is too good to not be on this list. Reiner Loot, man. Legend of Legendary Heroes. Reiner Loot. Ferris. I really, really like Legend of Legendary Heroes. I don't want to cut it. I don't want to cut it. Can we just make this list a top 50? I don't want to cut it. That moment where the code begins to break free is so incredibly good, though. If I don't cut it, I've got to cut something else. One more pass. One more pass. Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere has to be on this list. It's not the greatest show by any stretch of the imagination, but it is one of my personal favorites. I love it so much. The character designs are so cool. The attacks are so interesting. All the ideas for like the Far East and Musashi, all of that's super cool. I really, really like Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere. And it made a debate like super tense. Really like it. Log Horizon? For a long time, Log Horizon was my favorite isekai. But Log Horizon has Rundle House Code! And that amazing moment! And it has the whole thing with the money and with the food. But Season 2's art is way worse than Season 1 art. Database, just living in the day. Every time I go to cut something, the OP or the ED starts playing in my head, and I get super upset with myself that I'm going to cut it. It's got to go. It's got to go. Log Horizon has to go. I love it, but it has to go because Spice and Wolf has to stay. Kraft Lawrence, Haru, they have to, for at least one more pass. For one more pass, Bakano's on this list. Hands down. Bakano is on this list. Sosuke Sagara. Sosuke Sagara, though. Why do you all make me do this? Full Metal Panic's gone. Outlaw Stargo. Grappler Ships. Gene Starwind. Four's gotta go. How many do we have right now? 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There's 15 just on this top half. So we need to have 9 more left down here. Every time, and it just makes me not want to cut them. One more pass. One more pass. Baka and Test has to stay on this list. Hands down. Narahyo no Mago has to stay on this list. Katana Gatari is on this list. G Gundam is on this list. Okami-san's so good, though. It's so good. It has, like, the whole fairy tale theme going on, and it has Ryoshi, and he's a really good main character. He's the hunter. And it has, like, this whole subplot going on with who's who and how they all connect, and Orochimaru. And then it has the single most threatening villain in a high school setting that has ever been, in the form of Hisuji Kai. He has one of my favorite fighting styles, even though we only see him fight one time. I'm okay, Zeke. I'm just getting excited. I love it so much. I love Hisuji Kai so much. Hisuji Kai Shiro is such a good villain. Got to stay another round. It's got to stay one more round. Konosuba's on this list. Rakano Yusha is on this list. Kokoro Connect. Inaba's so good. Inaban is great. And I love the way that Kokoro Connect, like, she is willing to do what so many other characters are not. And she's like, yeah, I know that this person I like already likes this other person. That's fine. Because I'm going to convince them that, like, I'm the better one for them. I care about them. I'm here. And like she doesn't do it in like a super spiteful way or a super mean way. It's just like I'm gonna prove that I'm there for them. And like I love her so much. Kokoro Connect is so good. But I can't keep skipping stuff for another round. Kekai Sensen, man. Some of the best music in all of anime. The burger episode, man, should not be as good as it is. But it is. It's just so good. And that's not even all of it either. The stuff with Leonardo Watch and everything there. I don't know why he feels like he's got to mess with a green screen. Leonardo Watch. Needless to say, everything on this list you should check out if you haven't already. This stuff is real good. I'm gonna cut Kekai Sensen. I sure don't want to though. I think I'm gonna cut Double O as well. I think I'm gonna cut Double O and Zeta Gundam. And Tekkaman Blade. Season 2 of Double O is just not as good as Season 1. If both were at the same level that Season 1 was at, no doubt. But Season 1 has Lock-On Stratus in it. And Hallelujah Haptism. And Graham Aker. I think Blade's gonna go. Sorry, D-Boy. I love you so much in your High Volteca. Zeta Gundam, man. Can I cut Zeta Gundam? Can we do that? Is that even... that's a crime, right? To cut Zeta Gundam? Emma Sheen, Camille Bidan, Quattro Magina, Haptimus Shurako. I think I'm cutting it. I think I'm cutting Zeta Gundam. It feels bad. It feels real bad. Can I cut Iron Blooded Orphans? I mentioned earlier that one of the things that makes a show one of my top 25 is that it has moments that I come back to all the time, right? It has things that I think about all the time. I listen to the music all the time, and the show pulls me back in all the time, right? And I think of that shot in season 2 that a character takes at the end of the episode, and the way that Frisia starts playing over the top of it. I think about that moment at least once a week. And keep moving forward, man. Just give me one more round. I know I've said that so many times. Just give me one more round. Amagami SS can go. I really love Amagami SS. The music in Amagami SS is amazing. For the most part, the characters are really good. If it wasn't for the most part, it would stay on the list. Ryuhoko doesn't go anywhere in the main Amagami SS. I'm not a big fan of the Kohai, the underclassmen, but I love Nanasaki Ai. I love Tsukasa. I think Haruka's pretty good. It only gets better in plus, but I think it's gonna have to go. Needless is on this list. Needless is one of those shows nobody watches that I absolutely adore. Little Boy is on this list. Needless is on here. I think Macross 1 can go, and I think Macross 7 can go. As much as I love them both, I think they can go. I think that Macross 1 has some moments where I just really wanted somebody to put Minmay in her place. And 7 has some moments where somebody really just needed to grab Basara and remind him that, people's lives are at stake. As much as I love them both, I think they can go. I really want Star Driver on this list, I'm not gonna lie, and I really want Votoms on this list, and I really want all of these on this list. But we have 15 right here, and 17, 19, 21, 23, 24. That means that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 have to go. And if 8 have to go, what's going from this? I gotta cut 8. I think one of those 8 is Ice Shield 21. Now I gotta cut 7. I think one of those 7 is Outlaw Star. I really like you, Outlaw Star. I'm sorry. I think one of those 6 is Spice and Wolf. I think one of those 5 is Legend of the Legendary Heroes. Feels bad, man. It feels bad. I think one of those 4 is Get a Robo Armageddon. I think one of those 3 is Okami-san and her 7 companions. I have 2 left that I need to cut. So here's where I'm at. Gunsword, Votoms, and Nurarihyo no Mago. Those 3. And Star Driver. Those 4. I could see any one of those 4 going. 2 of those 4 have to go. Again, that would make any one of them number 26, 27, 28, 29, right? But 2 of those 4 have to go. And I keep thinking that I'm going to look at this and something's going to pop out and I'm going to go, I remember this flaw with this thing. It can't be on this list. I really, really wanted Narihyo no Mago to make it all the way because I love Rikuo as a character. The dynamic between Day Rikuo and Night Rikuo. I love Surara Oikawa. I love all of the different yokai that are part of the Night Parade. I love the battles in Narihyo no Mago. I love all of the OPs are amazing. Sunshine, man. That show's so good. But it's in steep competition here. And I think it's going to go. One more show has to go. think it's gonna be Star Driver. It's either gonna be Star Driver or Votoms. Votoms does have some periods where it drags, but Star Driver has the problem that its main cast of characters don't really get any development over the course of the series. They do stuff and they have really cool moments, but they don't change very much, and it also has that really disappointing ending. But it also has monochrome. Aoyuki wa no shiro kakera. It has Tauburn! At Privorza! Alright, Star Driver's going. Okay, we have 24 shows. We have to rank them into a list of the best 25. So of these 25, what is the worst show on the list? I kind of think I'm going to put Votones at the bottom. Worst is a bad way to word it because it makes it sound like I hate Votones. The Votones has one of my favorite main characters in anything ever. Kiriko QV is great. It also has long periods of times where it drags. That's why it has to be number 25, right? But I legitimately love Kiriko's character arc that happens throughout it. I love the interactions he has with other characters. The way that a lot of people think that he's just like completely emotionless, but then you find out he's like deeply scarred and is doing his best just to carry forward, trying desperately to find this new life for himself and to carve it out in this world that hates him, you know? And I think it's really powerful. I think it's really good. Easily could have been one or the other between it and Star Driver for me, but Votoms is my number 25. From there, I think it's going to be Baka and Test. And there are probably people looking at this list going, man, why is that comedy show up there above like Votoms and stuff like that? Baka and Test is legitimately funny for me. I really, really like the comedy in Baka and Test, but I also really like the characters. And the way the characters won me over surprised me. They were just joke characters, right? But by the end of the show, I was actually really rooting for a lot of them, and I wanted to see them succeed at what they were trying to do. The Hideyoshi gags never really got old to me. I thought they were pretty funny. And I really like that cast of characters a lot. I think they're really good. Some lowbrow humor at times, but the idea of like the whole school and the summons and everything is really good. The entire classroom of people that are mad that all of the main characters get, you know, a lot of attention from female characters. And so they dress up in robes and threaten to hang them all the time. Like, it's recurring gags that just come back all the time and are really good. I really like that show a lot. And it somehow made the idea of a student having to sit in front of a cardboard box for a desk really legitimately funny to me. Don't know how that happened. Baka Test is really good. You should check it out if you have not before. Really fun. After that, I think after that for me might be Gunsword. I'm surprised Gunsword made it into the top 25. I didn't think it was going to when I first started putting this together. But the more that I think about Gunsword, the more that I remember how much I like it. There's not really much about it I dislike. There are a couple of characters that I think didn't really need to be involved in the story. I think Joe is a character that you get the hint that something greater is going on with him, and you never really get the rest of that. I think that the way that stuff ends with Michael is kind of unsatisfying. I think they could have rounded that out a little bit more. But the stuff with Ray and where the stuff with Ray goes, Vaughn, The way that Vaughn's face contorts when he's talking or thinking about the claw. Um, Eldora 4, man. Eldora 5. Eldora Soul, man. So good. So good. I really like Gunsword. I really do. And it has one of the best ending themes ever. At some point, we're going to do a list of ranking ending themes. Gunswords is really good. After that, for me, it's probably going to be Needless. Because as much as I love Needless, and I really do love Needless, Needless has some big problems. The plot kind of gets away from itself at times. There's a ton of fan service that I think the show would have been better without. But I think the characters are all really fun. I think the powers are all really cool. The way that the different abilities work, the different fragments work, I think they're all really cool. And I look back fondly on that show every time I think about it. There's the small complaints that I have are lost in the joy that I had with Need. Especially when you get into like Teriyama Momiji, you get into Magnetic Ueldo. The abilities are all super cool. And like the fourth wave, and once you find out like how it works, it's like the idea of a JoJo stand battle, but if instead of a stand it was you that had that ability. And the places the story goes is really good. I liked it quite a bit by the end of it. From there, I think I'm gonna go with Raka no Yusha. I think Raka no Yusha has one of, as I talked about with Kiriko, it has one of my favorite main characters in anything ever. Adelit Meyer is amazing. I really, really like him. I love his combat style. I love his attitude. I love the way that he interacts with Hans and with some of the other characters. I love the twists that Raka no Yusha takes. That's about as far as it goes for me. There's a bunch of stuff that kind of meanders in the middle, I guess is the way to put it. But I think the concept is really cool. And Adelit Meyer and the way the plot wraps around him is really nifty. I like it quite a bit. I think it's a good thing the show's as short as it is, because I think if it was longer, it would have just made things more drawn out in places. But I liked it quite a bit. And I still enjoyed just popping it back in and rewatching it every once in a while. Just to see Adelit Meyer run around and do his... use every weapon at his disposal, man. Every time he can. So good. So good. Such a weird, unique fighting style. For number 20, I think for number 20, I'm going to go ahead and do Iron Blooded Orphans. I really do love it. It does have some problems. Uh, having an episode named Fumitan Oddmos tells you exactly what's going to happen there. And although the characters made the right decisions as far as they were concerned, there were decisions made that made me go, that was the wrong decision. Which could be, frustrating at times. The way that things turned out by the end, I was extremely satisfied with where the plot had gone. But at the same time, there were some long periods. The stuff on Earth with Galen Mossa took a while to work out. That was a long time, and I wish that had been resolved in a different way. Maybe is the way to word that. But it was satisfying the way that it ended, the way that it was taken care of. Other than that, though, I have no complaints with Iron Blooded Orphans. Iron Blooded Orphans is absolutely amazing. I love the characters. I love the music. I love the lack of beam spam. I love the combat. And the going into it knowing that this was a bunch of orphans that are just trying to do what's best for themselves and trying to carve out their place in the world. And seeing the links that they go to and the things that they're pushed by and where they get to. It's pretty tough. And it all culminates in that moment in the second to last episode, or it might be the last episode, where a character tells another character to stop talking. Or they might forgive them. And it's my favorite line in all of Gundam. It's such a good line. I love it, man. I love it so much. Iron Orphans also has one of my favorite mech designs in all of Gundam too, which is the Grey's Ein. Love it. The Vidar is really good too. From there, I keep wanting to say full. I don't know if you've noticed that I paused for a second. I keep wanting to say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and then I think about how good Brotherhood is, and I walk back from it every time. Every time I'm like, we could put Brotherhood in here. I care about these other shows more, and I think about what happened in Brotherhood, and I go, Brotherhood can stay where it is for a little while longer. I think we're gonna put. I think we're gonna put Ippo next. I really like Ippo. There are some times where Ippo drags, for sure, but the fights more than make up for it. And some of the greatest fights, the fights against Mashiba, the fight against Rocky, against Sendo, the fight against Date, some really, really good fights in Ippo. And Ippo just refusing to give up, the evolution of Ippo's technique, the way like he pushes himself forward constantly. Takamaru versus Brian Hawk. Some really, really good matches. And underneath all that is a guy just trying to do his best, you know, trying to make something of himself, trying to get past who he used to be, trying to help provide for his mom, you know, and it's Ippo's really good. Ippo's really, if you've never seen Ippo, you need to watch Ippo. Ippo's really good. Man, I love Ippo. From there, I think we're gonna go. I think we're gonna go Gunbuster. I remembered some more stuff about Gunbuster that says that we're not gonna go Gunbuster. We're gonna hold on to Gunbuster a little bit longer. Instead, I think we're gonna go Bebop. Bebop. Bebop has some weird episodes. Bebop has some times where it's not afraid to get weird. And then Bebop has Ballad of Fallen Angels. And then Bebop has the last episode. And then Bebop makes you cry. There are times where Bebop is just like having a good time and weird stuff's going on and bell peppers and beef with no beef. And then there are times where Spike Spiegel is rolling out of an elevator with a grenade in his hand. Or with a pistol in his hand. And Bebop is just off the rails. And you are going all in. And that final fight, man. That final fight's so good. It's so good. Yeah, Bebop, for sure. One of my top 25 of all time. Number 18. Feels good, man. Feels good. From there. I think it's going to be Code Geass. Again, Code Geass has my favorite ending in any anime ever. Code Geass has such a great ending. Code Geass also has some really annoying characters in places. Nina is Nina. She's bad. I really dislike her, and not because they gave me good reason to dislike her, because she's just dumb. It also has some really great characters, like Suzaku, Colin, and Lelouch. And the places that it goes, Jeremiah Gottwald, man. the places that it goes with those characters, the way that the stage just continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually the whole world is wrapped up in this conflict. It's so good. Code Geass, there's no way it wasn't going to be in my top 25. It's a little lower than I thought it was going to wind up being, but I'm still really happy with how it turned out. I really like all these shows that are left, and I'm now having to wage them against each other in my mind to see who's going where. I think next up is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think it's finally time. Brotherhood has some of the best characters in anime ever. I think Greed is absolutely amazing. Ed and Al are great. I think Mustang and Hawkeye are amazing. I think the additions in Brotherhood with Envy are so incredibly good that I cannot go back to regular Full Metal Alchemist, right? The changes made with Pride and everything there are really, really good. Brotherhood has amazing action. Brotherhood has some really powerful moments in it. And there's not much better than Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood for me. If this list was an objective list, I think Brotherhood would probably be at the top. But since it's based on my personal feelings, Brotherhood is relegated, unfortunately, to number 16. But FMA Brotherhood, it's really solid. If you've never seen it, you really need to. You really need to. Hughes, man. Love Mace Hughes. Such a good character. Number 15. Now that I inadvertently say that I like all of these series more than FMA Brotherhood. I think number 15 is going to be Steins Gate. I really love Hyoen Kyoma. He's such a good character. I love Christina. Time travel aspects are really cool. I think the places that it goes, the level of extreme that it pushes onto Okabe is amazing. The constant stress of over and over and over and over and over again seeing what he sees is so good. And the way it breaks him, the way he's just desperately trying to undo it, it's so good. And where it all ends up, the way that everything ties back together, really powerful. Really powerful. I really like Steins Gate, man. And I think after that is going to be Bakano. Yet another good character drama. With some amazing characters, with some amazing moments, with one of the greatest soundtracks in anime, with... Man, it has Claire. And Claire is amazing. And as if Claire wasn't good enough, it then has all of these other characters, and they're all great. You get into, like, after everything, and you meet Graham, and it's like, Graham can't be as good as, like, Lad Russo, or as Claire, or as Vino, or any of these other characters. And then Graham is just the best. Like, but the story's over. How is this great character being introduced right now? And it's like, they're all great characters, you know? And it's just, it's so good. It's so good. Bakano's amazing. If you haven't seen it, you absolutely need to see it. I think after Bakano for me is going to be Clannad. There was a time where Clannad was my number one, which makes it feel really weird to see it drop down as low as it is. I still think Clannad's story is really good, but I have since played the visual novel, And I do think the visual novel is a better version of that story. I've also since played the Steins Gate visual novel, and I still like the anime more. Even though I do think the Steins Gate visual novel has some other options to it that make it nice. Clannad is really good. It's just it's a story about a town and the characters that are in that town, and the music is top tier. The character interactions are great. The comedy that comes from it is really good, as Okazaki pulls pranks on a bunch of people over and over and over and over again. But that's not why Clannad's so good. It's those hard-hitting moments where all of a sudden you realize that this is going on, or this person's been there this whole time and nobody's like cared, and it's those heavy moments where heavy character moments where I'm trying not to spoil, where you realize that these characters meant a lot more to you than you thought they did. That these characters were really good. And you wind up really appreciating those characters a lot more than you did before. But that's really good, man. And without spoiling it, it's hard to get into why I like it so much. But I really like that story a lot. I really like those characters a lot. And although After Story is the thing that draws it back in a way for me, because I don't like After Story as much as I like the first series, Clannad itself, I do still think they're really good, and I think they're worth a watch. Absolutely. After Story does the thing I really wish it didn't do. That would have made the story way more impactful, but I'm really happy with Clannad. I like it a lot. After that, for me, is going to be JoJo. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Taking slot number 12. Parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Although, this could be just the first 26 episodes, part 1 and 2. And it would probably still be on this list. Dio Brando. Dio Brando. I don't even have to say anything else. And for me, that's justified. But to justify for everybody else why I put it on this slot, you have Dio, one of the greatest villains. My favorite villain in anime ever. Dio Brando is amazing. You have stand battles and how good those are. You have Joseph and Caesar's friendship. You have Stroheim. You have Speedwagon. You have part 4 with Rohan. You have so many other amazing moments in all 4 of those parts that there's no way JoJo wasn't making my top 25. I'm surprised it's as low as it is, but when I look at the competition it has to fight, it's tough to beat that, honestly. I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's so good! And if you haven't seen it yet, you need to check it. Number 11 for me is going to be Gunbuster. And I'll tell you the moment that I remembered that made me not be able to cut it when I was going to cut it. And it's the moment in episode 4. Or it might be the end of episode 3. Where a character realizes they're completely alone in space. And nobody else is around anymore. The whole squad that they were with, nobody's around and they can't reach anybody. And there's pure terror in that character's voice as they cry out for help. And then you juxtapose that with episode 5 and episode 6. And the amazing action in 5. And that return at the end of 6. The way that it ends at 6, I cried so hard and I'm not afraid to admit that. I really like Gunbuster. Gunbuster's super short. If you haven't seen it yet, you should watch it. The sequel, Die Buster, however, not as positive on. I think that Die Buster's fine, but when you follow up a series like Gunbuster, you gotta aim for the top. And I just don't feel like Die Buster did that. So it's at number 11. Number 10, as we breach the top 10 of my anime of all time, is G Gundam. G Gundam's great. G Gundam has, well, it has the Pescator, first off, but it has Domon Kashu. It has Alan B. Beardsley. It has Chimney Crockett. It has Master Asia, the undefeated of the East. It has Fun Psyche, the horse that gets into a Gundam. It has Swartz Bruder, who pilots the Spiegel Gundam for Neo Germany. G Gundam is amazing, and it seems like it's just a joke at first, right? G Gundam's just like, oh, it's just, here's the announcer come out, Gundam fight, ready, go, you know, ho ho. But it's actually a really serious character drama that somehow works, and it somehow is a really serious character drama while the Windmill Gundam for Neo Holland is running around. G Gundam's great. If you haven't seen it yet, you are doing yourself a disservice. G Gundam is amazing. You don't have to be a mecha fan to enjoy it. If you are already a mecha fan, you'd probably really like it. G Gundam is great. We're in the top 10 now. I think number 9 for me is going to be Horizon on the Middle of Nowhere. And this is a show that I'm fully aware of. I'm fully aware a lot of you probably have not ever heard of. Not a very popular show. I will definitely say that. But Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere is this futuristic Japan on top of an airship. Like, it is an airship. The city, the country, and called Musashi. And they are just flying. And while they're doing this, there are these other countries that are also on airships because the Earth is not safe anymore. And there are these gods that different people worship. It's really difficult to explain. But the whole show centers around this guy named Tori, Aoi Tori, who just wants to reconnect with a girl that he loves. And it's so good. And the places that it goes are insane. It has an amazing soundtrack. There's a debate in episode 11, I believe, that is super tense. And you have... I kind of want to spoil this one thing for why it's so good. Tori's special ability is that he makes a deal where as long as he is happy, he has access to almost unlimited power and can transfer it to as many people as he wants. But the first time he's not happy, he dies. So from the moment of that deal, every single time the main character is involved with anything, no matter how bad it gets, he has to force himself to be happy. Because the first time he isn't happy, he dies. And so when you see him gallivanting around and doing crazy stuff and being nuts, at one point you might be like, oh, I can't believe he's up to his antics again. But on the other point, it's he's trying to stay alive. And in doing so, trying to continue to give power to everybody else. And it's amazing. It's so good. It's a weird show that you need to watch. Trust me when I say that even that one thing has not broken the barest of margins when it comes to where the story goes and weird abilities that people have and the different stuff that they can do. It's really good. And it's nuts and it's crazy. But it's also a really great character drama. Number 8, man. I think number 8 for me is going to be Hunter x Hunter. I adore Hunter x Hunter 2011. It's another one of those things where I didn't realize how much I cared about it till I started doing this list, you know? But I adore Hunter x Hunter 2011. The way that Gon and Killua advance through the story, the characters they meet, the things that they do. Shoot, McMahon, Nov, and Welfin. And that's just 3 characters from the final arc that struck such a chord with me, and I wound up loving those characters. And that's just the final arc, right? And that's not even counting how great Hisoka is. Hisoka's my second favorite villain of all time. And that's not even counting how good Leorio and Kurapika are. Everything with a Phantom Troop, with Crollo, with Satats. Hunter x Hunter 2011 also has some amazing music. I didn't think when I started this list that Hunter x Hunter was going to be in my top 10. I just knew it'd be in my top 25. But I'm not upset about this at all. I think it absolutely deserves to be there. Hunter x Hunter is amazing. I don't want to spoil anything else for you, so if you haven't seen it yet, you need to watch it. You really do. I don't care. People say it's too long. It's too long. Just trust me. Just watch it. It pays off. It pays off. Number 7 for me is going to be Konosuba. It's just a joke show, right? That's what people always say. It's the hardest I've laughed in a long time, Konosuba. And Kazuma as a character I really like. I really like Kazuma as a character. But then you have Aqua, Darkness, Megumin. All 3 of them are really great characters. You have some really good gag characters thrown in there too. And I just think the dynamic that the main 4 have together is really solid. Konosuba has some of my favorite ending themes ever. I think the explosion gag is amazing. And it has the dumbest little gag that breaks me laughing every time. Which is, it's not even something that you really see in the subtitles, but it's where somebody be talking and somebody else will go, Kazuma, Kazuma. And I go, Kazuma deo. Yeah, it's Kazuma. And it's just like, most people go, huh? Or what? And he's just like, I'm Kazuma. Kazuma deo. And it gets me every time. I laugh so hard. And it's so dumb that that little gag makes me love this show so much. But if it was just that gag, I don't think it would. But it's the fact that all 4 of those characters are terrible people. They're really, like, mean and cruel, and they only care about themselves, right? But they also care about each other. Not to the point of more than themselves, but more than random people they don't know. And I just really enjoy the dynamic those 4 characters have. I think that they're really good together. And I would be down to watch another million seasons of it. We could ever get some more. From there for me is going to be Sengoku Basara. And there's a lot I love about Sengoku Basara. There really is. There's a whole lot that I love about Sengoku Basara. The first big thing is Date Masamune. That character, I really love that character in Sengoku Basara. The way that they did Date Masamune is my favorite. I have a figure of him on my shelf back there. Date's great. But then you have like his connection with Kojiro. You have the way that they did Azai Nagamasa and how good he is. The rivalry between Date and Yukimura. The situation with Sanada, Yukimura, and Takeda Shingen and the way that plays out. Oda Nobunaga legit being terrifying. You have everything with Oichi. Then you continue to carry that forward into like the last party, the 3rd season that has just recently come out, and you have the way that Mitsunari Ishida is constantly chasing after Ieyasu, and the way that all plays out and all the connections there. Shosakabe versus Date Masamune being one of the greatest fights ever. You have Sanada Yumura versus Mori Motonari. It's just a really good series, and I think it does not get enough love because people look at it and go, "Ah, it's just more Sengoku stuff," and it's like, no, it's really good actually. Though it's a really good anime. From there, top five. From there, I think is Turn A Gundam. And that might surprise a few. I feel like some people expected Turn A to be number two, right? I really love Turn A. And a lot of that is Laurent Sehak. A lot of that is Laurent's journey and the way he connects with other characters and the way that he's probably the best pacifist character in all of Gundam because he does not want to fight. He's here trying to stop the fighting, but he realizes that to stop the fighting, he'll have to fight. And he does not let that stop him from putting a stop to any enemies that come in his way. He'll defend the people he cares about while wishing they didn't have to fight, but he will fight. And a lot of that is shown in the way he fights too. It's desperate. It's not stylish or beam spammy. It's get back. It's pushing them away and slicing them back. It's rough and it's real, I suppose is the way to put it. It feels like somebody actually fighting. And it reminds me in a lot of ways the way that Amuro fought in original Gundam, you know? Where it was kind of brutal sometimes. But Amuro was just doing his best. And when you pair that with the story of Turn A, and you have Harry Ord, and you have Jim Gingham, you have all the things that all these other characters are trying to do, I really like Turn A. I think it's my favorite, not just out of all of Gundam, but out of any real robot series, as real as the Turn A itself is. I just think it's really good. And the way that Laurent reacts to things and everything there is really good. There are some negatives I have for it. I think that for the first half of the series, Corin Nander's really annoying. For the second half, he's really great. Poe can get kind of annoying, but it's really good that Turn A lets you see every side of the conflict and really start to empathize with a lot of those characters, which is what Gundam's really good for, but what it's known for in a lot of ways. But I think Turn A is probably the best of it. I like Turn A lot. And the music, man, Moon is such a good song. Turn A Turn, Century Color, so good. Number 4 for me is Katanagatari, which I just accidentally erased from existence. There we go. Katanagatari, 12 episodes, an hour long each, roughly. The way that story progresses, the way those two characters, Togame and Shichika, move forward, it's such a good story. And I can't talk about it without spoiling that adventure, but every episode is set 1 month apart from the next, as it's 12 episodes, and it's showing in world time, it's a year through the life of these two characters as they try to collect these blades made by Shikizaki Kiki and try to fulfill Togame's ambition. And that final episode, is something, man. It is a ride. And I don't think I've ever been more on the edge of my seat when watching anime than watching Katanagatari. I had no idea what was coming, and I'm so glad. It absolutely is a show that I think everybody should watch. It's really good. Shichika is a great character, and I did not think I would be saying that at the start of that show, but everybody should check it out. Number 3 You probably expect it to be School Rumble, but number 3 is Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann is so much hot-blooded mecha love. It's such a love letter to super robots. And then it goes even beyond being a love letter and just becomes a great super show on its own. Powered by Spiral Energy, Simone and Kamina, man. And like the other supporting characters are really great as well. There's so many amazing moments that I go back to, so much amazing music, so many amazing character arcs. A moment where a character faces down a giant robot with a shotgun to defend their family. Gurren Lagann is amazing. And I know a lot of people go, it's just hype all the time. It's just... I legitimately love Gurren Lagann. And I'm so glad in a way that there hasn't been anything new. Because I'm afraid what they would do to how perfect Gurren Lagann is. How great that ending is. The movies are really great. Movies, of course, don't interfere in this list, but they are good, if you're curious. Gurren Lagann's amazing. Viral is great. I could make a whole video just on Viral and episode 22, I believe. Might do that at some point. Really good. Actually, it's my soul. Number 2 is School Rumble. School Rumble may look a little out of place on this list, not gonna lie. I'm sure a lot of people would look at this and go, nah, that doesn't deserve to be there. But School Rumble is a comedy, yes. But like some of the other comedies on this list, it's also a really good character drama. And Harima as a character is so incredibly good. The ways that he tries to make himself better, the options that he tries to do, the constant mistakes, man, as he just tries to do better than he did last time. There is a love rectangle, triangle thing, and that can be really annoying for a lot of people, but it's not a situation of like, oh, well, maybe I don't care about the person I thought I did. It's instead a situation of, no, I only care about the person that I think I care about. Whoever else falls in love with me is completely separate. I only care about this person. And Harima as a main character is amazing. The number of times that you think there's no way Harima could mess this up, and he messes it up again. And as good as the show is, that would be fine on its own, right? But there are moments where they just parody everything. And so there is a moment where Harima walks in on a girl changing, because of course he does, because it's a slice of life, right? And another character walks in, and Harima panics because he's like, "Oh no, they're gonna know, they're gonna know that I saw her naked, and it's gonna be terrible." And he doesn't even say anything, but he's just like shaking his head, and all he says then is, "It's not what it looks like." And the other character goes, "You walked in while she was changing." And I'm like, yes! Finally somebody that immediately jumps to let's look for a reasonable conclusion to this. And that's just one of so many other great moments. Add into all this, and I will spoil this because I think it might get a bunch of you to watch this. In the middle of the show, they have a 2-episode span where they have a paintball fight. And the genre of the show changes from comedy to war drama. And it's amazing. For those 2 episodes, it is a war drama. And those 2 episodes alone probably would have made it on this list because they're so good. But then you add that in with everything else the series has to offer. You have some amazing music, really great characters, You have some crazy action moments and some really touching character moments. And School Rumble is just insane. It's so good. My second favorite anime of all time. And then I talked about Gagagar almost an hour ago. Crazy to think we've been doing this for an hour and a half now. Gagagar, man, Gai Shishio, Choryujin, Bullfog, Mikoto, Soldat J, Mamoru. You have all of the amazingness that is the soundtrack, how good that soundtrack is. Then you add in Final, and you get some of the hypest moments in the entire series. I love Gagagar. I love it so much. You should watch it. Whether you like Mecha or not, I think you'll like it. It's got some really good character moments. With all that said, this has been my top 25 anime of all time. It only took me an hour and a half to pick out mine. What are yours? Let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, I have been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. An anime has to offer.